Welcome to the Empowered Money Girl, where we break down the barriers to financial confidence, celebrate women's wins, and reveal the secrets to living boldly and well. I'm your host, Josette Mandela. Today, we're diving into a topic that's often overlooked but so essential: your health. Because let's face it, money means nothing if you're not feeling your best. My guest today is Nikki Golly, a nutrition coach, women's health advocate, speaker, and yes, a self-proclaimed poop expert. Nikki specializes in helping women solve food sensitivities and reclaim their energy, all without overwhelm or confusion. Now, if you're ready to unlock the connection between what you eat and how you thrive, this episode is for you. Please welcome the brilliant, bold, and beautifully disruptive Nikki Golly.
Oh, thank you so much. A fantastic introduction. I appreciate that so much. Yes, I typically talk about the elephant in the room that everybody does and nobody talks about. And my favorite childhood book is Everyone Poops, but not everyone poops well or every day. And that is something that I would love to change and get people talking about it, because your gut health affects everything. Affects how you feel, and of course it affects your finances too, because if you feel like crap, pun intended, then you are not going to do the activities that you know are going to grow your business. Or even if you're an employee, you're not going to get the things done that you need to get the raises and be the star employee if you don't feel good.
And that is so true. So can you take us back to the beginning? How did you end up where you are today, becoming the poop expert?
Yeah. Well, I actually am the poop expert because I had so many troubles myself. I was miserable. I grew up, going back to when I was little, I had ear infections. They were awful. I felt like I lived in the doctor's office. I grew up and I would go to the doctor so often. I feel like I would get sick every time, any season change, I used to joke that someone could sneeze across an auditorium and I'd get sick. And typically then I turned it into strep throat.
Oh.
I actually took antibiotics, the antibiotics they give you for strep throat, amoxicillin. I took it so many times, I actually became allergic to it.
Wow.
And all the while I was uncomfortable. I was bloated. In middle school, I was experiencing arthritis symptoms. Like I couldn't do the quote unquote girl push-ups because my knees hurt so bad. And all the while, this whole time, I was pooping probably once or twice a week. And I didn't know that wasn't normal. I didn't know that wasn't okay. So because of that, like I got a nutrition degree. I also worked in a supplement store for many years. It wasn't until I took my matters in my own hands to figure out what the heck was wrong with me that really got me moving in the right direction and really helping myself first. And then since I've actually helped so many dozens and dozens of other people to start feeling better and really tapping into their body. Because what I didn't know then, but I was eating something every day, if not every meal, that I was allergic to. My body wasn't processing it. So it would just slow down my digestion and have all kinds of side effects that I had no idea were even side effects. It was just me. Right? But I was so uncomfortable, and it wasn't until, like I said, I kind of learned and studied for years and thousands of dollars to figure out that the doctors really weren't able to help me. I had to figure it out myself. And it's amazing. So now I am on every stage that I possibly can talking about poop because it's so important and nobody else is really doing it. It's so taboo that people will go years and not have any idea what's happening within their body, or just not sure, like, right? So
Mhm.
now what we'll get into it a little bit, I'm sure, but now we talk poop, but not graphically, right?
Yep.
Helpfully, and with a little fun, because if you're going to talk about a topic that's super taboo and a little weird, you got to make it fun, because I think that's important.
Yes, it is. And it's so true that the medical profession doesn't even ask those questions. When you're in talking to the doctor, he's asking you lots of questions, but
Yeah.
I'll I'm like you. In the beginning when I was growing up, it was the same sort of thing, pooping once, twice a week. I thought that was normal. No one said it wasn't.
Yeah.
I never thought to ask the doctor. And
No.
so,
And they don't know. The question that they usually ask is, are you regular? Yeah, I regularly poop once a week. That's my regular. Like, what is that? It's the wrong question, really. It's not like, how many times a day do you poop? Do you poop every day? Do you, like, those are way better questions, but really, to not demonize the medical industry. They're great for what they do, but when it comes to digestion and gut health in general, a lot of doctors don't know what to do.
mm-hmm,
They can give you a diagnosis now. We have the IBS and those types of things, right? IBS or IBS-C, which means irritable bowel syndrome, or irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, that kind of thing. But it's really just kind of a catch-all of, you have gut issues. Either
mm-hmm.
your digestion moves too quickly or it's too slow, right? But it's that they can give you the diagnosis because there's pharmaceuticals that kind of help. I say that loosely because a lot of times they don't really help, or they provide the opposite option. Like, if you have constipation, great, you take a pharmaceutical and it loosens everything up. And it's like, well, doesn't fix the issue. But a lot of
Right.
times they don't know, because doctors are specialized in their field, but they don't have to take any nutrition classes. Did you know doctors, when they
Wow.
go to school, I think one elective nutrition class is all they have to do to get there. So of course they don't think that food's going to make any difference, because they don't know about it. They're not educated about it. So it's interesting, but yeah, if they're not asking the proper question, then they're not getting the proper answers.
So, what are some things that our listeners can do that can help them get to a better place?
Yeah. Honestly, the first thing is just be aware. Like, we're so unaware, unless you have really bad problems, or you're really, like, think that you need to go to the hospital because your digestion is either moving way too quickly, or you haven't pooped in a couple weeks and you feel bloated and backed up and uncomfortable. But being aware of that, first, that we're supposed to poop every single day. That was a shocker to me, right? From someone that went once to twice a week to, like, every day. Like, wow, yeah, but every day makes a huge difference in how you feel. So just kind of be aware, have the conversation. If it's not with your doctor, maybe family members, or a confidant, a good friend or something, like, let's have that conversation, because it's so valuable. And then the very next step is, no matter what your affliction is with your digestion, if you're not pooping every single day, or if you're pooping way more than once a day, either side of the spectrum, typically what I see first, and one of my first things, and I know we've talked about this, is to drink more water. It is shocking at how dehydrated we are, just in general. Most of the population is. I venture to say probably 95% of the population is dehydrated all the time. So if you're going to the bathroom not enough or too much, water can still really benefit your system, right? Because if you're going too much, you're getting rid of pretty much most of the things that you are drinking, so it kind of flushes out your body, which dehydrates you. Or if you're not going enough, again, your colon the whole job of your colon is to take water out of your stool. So the longer it sits in there, the more it takes out, and the harder it is, because your body needs water. So if you drink more clean water, your body has to pull less out of your stool, so it makes it an easier experience to go to the bathroom, which is important. Very, very important.
Yes, it is.
So water is a huge, huge benefit for, like I said, for everyone. Even if you don't have poop issues, you probably could still benefit from more water.
And you talk about adding more water, and yet when people are training for marathons and stuff, you hear people talking about how don't drink too much water because you could die from drinking too much water. Is that a myth, or is there really something to that?
Honestly, it's probably like 1 in a million of people that would get too much water. It's called hyponatremia. It means that you drink too much water, that it dilutes the nutrients, your vitamins and minerals in your body. But like I said, 1 in a million probably, and it's usually people that are eating or not eating very much and just drinking like way too much water. And I'm talking about way too much water is probably over a gallon a day. And I mean, even if you did like probably 4 or 5 days drinking a gallon a day, you probably still will not have that issue. It's people that are not eating and just drinking crazy amounts of water for long periods of time that it kind of rinses out. So it's not a myth, but there's a very slim chance that will actually happen, especially if you're like majority of the population that runs dehydrated. So great question.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that makes perfect sense, because the years ago I did run a marathon, and that was something they kept bringing up, and I kept thinking to myself, but I'm thirsty.
Yeah.
I need to drink.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. Yeah. And like, yeah, if you're running a marathon, like you're already putting your body through stress. And that's why but most of the time, like I said, people are dehydrated. So it's way more important to drink water than to be afraid of water, especially if you're training. I mean, think about it. Not only are you exhaling more, because that's a way you can get rid of water. We get rid of water most of the time if we see it, right? That's urination. That's the most common way to get rid of water. But what most people don't think of is every time you breathe, you are exhaling water vapor.
Okay.
And if you're training, you're breathing more frequently. So you're actually breathing out more water than the average person that's just sitting there. And yeah, drinking enough water is so important. And if you're kind of worried about it, I would say maybe again, I would venture to say you could at least do 2 liters or 80 ounces of water without any issues, unless you're like less than 100 pounds. And then if you're getting over that and you're kind of worried about it, maybe doing an electrolyte of some sort, just so you have a little bit of extra nutrients. But other than that, and that's the people that are training for a marathon for sure. Because I have a couple clients that have trained for big races, and one that's doing a marathon, and yeah, water is key. Because your muscles. There was a woman that I follow on social media, and she was talking about, she had a great visual, and she talked about someone training for exercise and that kind of thing. And she related the muscles to either a nice soft steak, like a steak that you haven't cooked yet, right?
Right.
That's what your muscles are supposed to be like, or jerky. Because jerky is essentially meat that the water has been taken out of. So it's like, if you're running or if you're doing all this crazy stuff, your body's not able to heal if your muscles are like jerky, opposed to like a nice soft steak with lots of moisture in it. And that was a visual that hit home for me for sure.
Yeah, and I could see that. Yeah, that is a good visual.
Right? Right? Yeah. Are your muscles like jerky or are they like a nice, soft, rare steak? That makes a difference. And that's water. And you got
Mm.
to drink it. I mean, you can soak in it, but still drinking it's the best way.
So what made you decide to actually start your own business rather than to you had mentioned that you were working with the supplement company.
Yeah. Honestly, I worked in a supplement store for a long time and I have always loved helping people. Like forever, it's just been a thing that I truly feel that most of the stuff that I've learned and most of the things that I've actually been through were to not only help myself, but then to educate others. Like I love people. I love talking to people and communicating. And I worked in the store and I was in essentially a sales position, but it was all about customer service. So really helping somebody get from point A to point B. I went into management for a short time, which the pay was good. I'm not going to say great. It was better, right? But it wasn't really the hands-on helping people quite as much.
Ah,
So, but I excelled at it because I honestly I can excel and most people can, right? But I can excel at anything I put my mind to. And I improved the store. They moved me to 3 or 4 different stores because I was so good and I like raised the morale of the store and also the profits and all of that in each of the stores and they moved me and moved me. And then it was kind of the last move they moved me to a problem store and I was like, I'm good. I don't think I'm like, I don't really want to go again. The pay wasn't like, they weren't even giving me a pay increase. And I was like, like, you're just using me at this point.
mhm.
And I was like, you know what? If I can do this for you, I can do this for myself. And that was in 2013. And I have never looked back. And it has been the most, I'm grateful that they didn't treat me well, honestly. Now at this point, I'm grateful they didn't treat me well because I didn't have quite the confidence to go out on my own until they had like, I'm like, you know what? That, you don't, no, you don't treat me like that. No, thank you.
That's an amazing journey.
Yeah, yeah. And so then I've kind of been doing the nutrition for a number of years. And it wasn't until probably the last 2 or 3 years that I really honed in on my own story and talking about poop. And you know what? It is one of the most beneficial things I've ever done for my business. Everyone says so many people are afraid to kind of niche down into
Mhm.
something specific. But the more I niched down, the bigger my business got.
Cool.
And I highly recommend it. Don't be nervous. Do it. It's worth it. It's worth it. And being your own boss and taking care of yourself and I mean it comes with its drawbacks, but the majority of the time it is the best decision you can make. And investing in your business and investing in a coach that really can catapult you to the next level is also a game changer, which is awesome. Yes.
It does sound awesome. So in the process of doing all that, did you have any financial challenges or where kind of how did that journey look for you? Because you had
Ooh,
the
yes.
security and then you didn't.
Right? To be honest, it was a little scary. I mean, I've truly believed and have always been provided for, like the universe provides for you. I've never been without a roof over my head or anything like that. There was certain points that I maybe worked just for food, the but really it was the most when you get kind of financially strapped, there is no deeper motivation to make things work.
Okay, you could see
And
that.
I've had that happen a couple of times, right? When you are really fun, like you know that you're going to make it happen. You're going to make those calls. You're going to go out and talk to those people that like there's no other way. Like I will never fail. I will choose never to fail. And so there was a few times that it was a little like, ooh, how am I going to pay rent? I can do this. But that just makes you hustle just that much harder. Um, more recently, I talked about hiring a coach and hiring essentially a marketing team. And that sometimes it's just that kind of, they say, bite the bullet, or like, like pull off the Band-Aid, spend more than you have made. But like as long as you do it consciously with some thought and know that you're going to follow through, like it is the best decision you can make. Like that was the best decision. Going into debt to invest in my business was one of the best decisions I've ever made with my business. Just because right? If I went into debt and went into credit card debt and be like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. And I'm gonna absorb every ounce of what this person has to say, and I'm gonna step forward and make the moves, and it pays dividends, and it is the best decision for sure.
Well, it certainly sounds like you have a great relationship with money.
I hope so. I try. I definitely try, right? I think that's important to know that money is energy, right? Money is not something to be afraid of or to shy away from or something like that, because money is energy. So when you put a big energy exchange out there, you spend a lot of money for someone, to get that energy back and to turn it into something for you is powerful. So, yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Energy is money, or money is energy.
Yeah,
I mean,
say
that,
both.
yep.
Both are correct. Yes, it is. It's energy, and it's an exchange. So it's important that you make of it what you put out.
That's great advice. So is there any other advice that you would have for women who are just starting to build their financial independence?
Yes. I mean, so many things. Where can I start? You cannot take care of your health enough. That's probably one of the first things, right? When you're building your financial, like take care of you, because most of the time you are your business. So if you're sick, if you're uncomfortable, if you're miserable, if your digestion, if you're not pooping every day, going back to that, you are not showing up. Your business is not thriving in the way that it could. So the more you pay attention to you and filling up your cup first, the better your business is going to be, the better your family, your like kin, or your legacy, right? A lot of it's the kind of legacy building and taking care of your finances for a long time. The better you take care of you, the more your body's and your brain's going to work and work for you. Because we want our brain and our body to work for us, and we also want our money to work for us.
Absolutely.
So those are really big pieces to take care of you. So fill your cup first. Like I can't reiterate that enough, because that's so valuable. And filling your cup first, hey, that's energetically, but that's also physically. Like fill your water cup. Let's make sure you're drinking a lot of water. It makes your brain work better. Yes, you pee a little bit more, but sometimes that's good because that's detoxifying your system. Like I said, there's so many things, but that's probably one of the first ones, to really take care of you, because when you take care of you, it's so much easier to take care of everything else that you need to do, because you feel better.
That's such great advice, but there's some women that just feel like it's too hard, or I didn't like math in school, or they've got all these weird stereotypes still going on, even though it's 2025. So any tips for them on things that you've done over the years that could come in handy?
Take small steps, and don't be afraid to ask questions. That's the amazing part, is find someone like yourself, right? Josette, you are a fantastic resource for women to actually have more confidence in their abilities. because most of the time with its finances, like, oh, you just get your husband or your partner to do it. It's like, no, like I've always been very autonomous of like wanting to do it myself and knowing my finances. Like, I think that's really important to know what's going on, know what's going in and going out, right? And you don't have to know, you don't have to know calculus. You don't have to know most of the math stuff. I mean, you can plug it into a computer program and it'll do it for you. But just take one step at a time and do it, because the more you take care of it, the more you know, the more you're going to be able to find out, the more you're going to help yourself in the long run. So just take that small step. Reach out if you have questions, and just take just little steps every day. I think that's a big piece. Same with nutrition, but same with finances. I would say they're pretty similar, and if you just do a little bit each day, that'll move you forward, and you'll be like so confident in a year, maybe even less than that.
Yeah, and like you say, the more questions you ask, the more information you have, the easier it's going to get as well.
Yeah, and don't just ask Google.
Yes, exactly.
Sometimes Google can help. I know we do a lot more with AI now too. Like ask AI to help, but also ask a professional. Sometimes that'll really, really get you moving in the right direction, because finances and health do go hand in hand. They really do.
Yeah, and it's funny you should mention AI, because I was reading an article just a couple hours ago that the mental health field is finding that there's a lot of people out there now that are trying to use AI for their mental health because it's free. And I mean, that's kind of scary to me, because there are a lot of topics that AI isn't so good about, and the information it's giving.
Yeah, out of AI can be really helpful, but AI truly doesn't have a brain.
Yeah.
So I think mental health, that's probably one of the last places we should get help with, because there is no brain in a computer. They have a program, can give you some tips, maybe ask the question of what human can you talk to that's close to you, or something like that. But yeah, I think that's probably a scary one for sure, just because AI doesn't truly have a brain. And for mental health, we need to treat and protect the brain. Interesting.
Yeah, it's
Awesome.
I don't know whether I find it interesting or scary, but yeah, probably both.
Yeah, a little bit of both. Definitely both. Definitely both.
So if you could give one message to women that are listening today about owning their own independence, what would it be?
Owning their own independence. That is a great question. I would say know your numbers, both in your health. So going to the doctor and actually getting like blood panels and that kind of thing. So you know your numbers when it comes to cholesterol and blood pressure and like your heart health, that kind of thing. And then also know your numbers of where your finances going in and out, like how much is coming in and what's going out, and then assess from there. But starting with knowing your numbers can really help you, because then you know what's the most important thing. Like if you get a paycheck or you're working for yourself and you get clients and you have more money going out than going in, or you're on the nutrition or health side, if you're not pooping every day, or if your blood pressure's skyrocketed, then you know what to focus on first. So kind of assessing and knowing where to start is key. And as far as the digestion piece, I know I talk about poop, and like I said, nobody really talks about it. So that's kind of why I'm out doing this big thing, like, hey, let's talk about poop. It's so important. One of the things that I'd love to gift your audience is I have a poop pop quiz on my website. So my name is Nikki Golly, so NIKKIGOLLY.com. you can go to just nikkigolly.com, and it's on the front page of my website. It's a poop pop quiz. I promise there's no gross pictures, just questions that kind of get you prompted and moving forward and taking care of you. And then if you do that, reach out to me and say, I heard you on Josette's show. For the first 5 people that do that, I will go over the results with you one-on-one, completely complimentary. Normally I charge $247 to go over, but I'll go over your quiz results and really give you some feedback. Really, again, knowing your numbers, have somewhere to start so you know where to go. And I'll happily give you a blueprint of the best next step for you to focus on to take care of yourself, because that's what we're all in this for, is to help people and get you to feel better and take care of yourself and make more money than you ever thought possible.
Thank you so much, Nikki, for that gift. I just love it.
And you're welcome.
And thank everyone else for joining us today. I just love the wisdom that Nikki shared with us today and the energy that you shared with us. So now, everyone, if you found this conversation valuable, please subscribe, leave a review, and share the Empowered Money Girl with your friends. The more we spread the stories, the more women we can empower to live boldly, both financially and every part of your life. Until next time, keep thriving, and remember, your journey to empowerment starts with you.